Good evening, Bhante and all Kalyana Mitas, Namo Buddhaya and Sukhi Hontu. I'm Aliana and welcome to TRV Friday's Sutta discussion by Bhante Dr. Ganggodawila Chandima. This is the day 112 of the Sutta discussion class. Tonight's class is the 10th class of Dhajagga Sutta with topic Final Review of Dhajagga Sutta. Dhajagga Sutta is the 10th sutta that have been chosen by Bhante Chandima for this sutta discussion. In previous classes, Bhante has discussed about Mangala Sutta, Ratana Sutta, Metta Sutta, Sigalowada Sutta, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, Sabbasawa Sutta, Patakama Sutta, Patama Samajivi Sutta, and Alawaka Sutta, which Bhante has elaborated those sutta in depth. For those who have missed our previous classes, please check on Ti-Ratana Vihara Apan Perdana Klang's Facebook page and YouTube channel. We have uploaded the previous classes there. We are always welcoming newcomers, therefore, whoever that wish to join the class via Zoom where we can engage directly with Bhante, can contact the Vihara through TRV Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp. Our speaker, Bhante Dr. Ganggodawila Chandima, is the Associate Editor of the Journal of International Buddhist Studies, or JIBS, which is published by the Buddhist Research Institute of Mahachulalongkorn Raja Widyalaya University in Thailand. He was previously a research fellow at the Center for Studies in Religion and Society, or CSRS, at University of Victoria, Canada. Bhante Dr. Chandima was also Theravada Buddhist chaplain at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada, from year 2012 to 2016. Bhante is currently the senior advisor to Patisota, a virtual Dhamma organization that hosts a weekly online Pali reading class, sutta discussion, Dhamma talks, and a variety of other Dhamma activities. His Dhamma works can be accessed at www.patisota.blogspot.com, and we can also follow Bhante at Patisota Facebook account. Without further ado, we welcome once again Bhante, and as always, thank you very much for the wonderful guidance and teaching. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Aliana. Good evening, Dhamma friends. Let's get started our discussion, super discussion, by paying respect to the Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tasse bhagavate samma sambuddhase. Namo tasse bhagavate arahato samma sambuddhase. Namo tasse bhagavate arahato samma sambuddhase. Alia, is Aaron here with us? Can Aaron give me the co-host prompt to share screen? Okay, thank you. So today you are joining for the review of the TR Sutta discussion on Dhajagga Sutta. We've been actually missing out on a couple of days due to my traveling. And today we have Aliana, Dr. Kim, Kelvin, Margaret, Kim Neo, Melinda, Barbara, Nai Cheng, Sister Ang, Disilim, Sendio, Yit Niho. We've been to his wonderful factory about durian in Johor. Yes, interesting place to check out. Corina, Jacqueline, Yuon, Hima, Miam, Samita, and Gan. Yes. So today's class will be a review of the Dhajagga Sutta, which we've been actually discussing for I probably think, many weeks. We have almost covered the main aspects of the sutta. As you understand, the Buddha was trying to tell monks that in case you happen to be scared or terrified, stressed, in other words, depressed, got butterflies, goosebumps, there is a way how to handle that fear, that terror that horripilation, that butterfly, that goosebump, that stress, that depression. Nowadays, we know if we talk about the therapeutic aspects, somebody might meet a psychiatric, maybe a doctor. But in this case, I mean, if the person has a good understanding about Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and there is a way that the person can work, work with the spiritual aspects. Now, in the Sutta, Buddha says that Buddha reflecting upon the 9 great qualities is the first thing that someone can do. In order for us to benefit from the 9 great qualities, as we understood, we need to know what they are and then their interpretations, proper interpretation. And then in case, by reflecting upon the 9 great qualities, if the fear still continues, if it is continuously bothering the person, then that person can think about the 6 great qualities of the Dhamma. And then if by reflecting upon the both Buddha Dhamma great qualities, thereby we understand 15, if the fear still continues to arise, terror still continues to arise, correlation, terror, and all these negative emotions still continue to arise, then someone can think about, that kind of person can think about the Sangha, the 9 great qualities of the Sangha members. Now, in a way, you might perhaps think that Sangha is more powerful. Probably it would be the other way as well. I mean, if you are such a very good person who has lots of saddha and panya, probably even by reflecting on the Buddha's 9 great qualities is enough for you. Right? I mean, if you take the other way around. But for some people, they have to learn a lot. They have to practice a lot. Right? As you know, there are people who learn a simple Dhamma teaching, one Dhamma talk. A lot of insights are going to arise in that person's life. But there are other people who have to learn Dhamma for the whole life. But there's no insight coming out. It's just a learning, sitting down, and then nowadays on a virtual space, nothing is going to work. Nothing is going to work out as insofar as the Dhamma insights to arise. They only have an instant Dhamma hit, listen to a Dhamma talk, instant Dhamma hit. But there's no insight that is arising except a Dhamma hit, instant Dhamma hit. So it's better to think that probably, if you look at it, now we understood that maybe Buddha Dhamma Sangha, someone might go through fear, and then this fear may not be overcome even by reflecting upon 9 great qualities. Still have to go reflect upon the Dhamma qualities. And there may be some people who still even cannot, overcome those negative emotions, have to go to Sangha. Also, there is someone who has already a good understanding about the Buddha's qualities. Still, probably by reflecting upon a couple of Buddha qualities might be enough, more than enough to overcome those things. So I think it depends on the person's individualistic side as well. So today we are going to look at the last stanzas and last section of the Sutta, and also do a kind of a review, not the whole thing, depending on the time, review as well. So we'll take a look at the Sutta. Do we have newcomers today? I hope everyone is familiar to our class. Maybe I might ask questions at the end now. Okay, just to make sure that we are on the same page. Okay, good. So we have done up until the Sangha's 9 qualities. That's number 12. So here we are going on to the number 13. Maybe we can invite someone to read. Is there anybody who dares to read this part? Number 13. You can raise your virtual. Yes, Sumita, please go ahead.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Thank you. Tam kissa hetu tathagato hi bhikkhave arahang samma sambuddho vitta rago vitta doso vitta moho abiru achambi anutarasi apalayeti.
Okay, great. Tang kissa hetu tathagato hi bhikkhave araham samma sambuddho. Vita rago, vita doso, vita moho, abhiru achambhi anutrasi apalayeti. Now, the Buddha explains to us why, by thinking about him and following, by thinking about Dhamma Sangha qualities, initially starting from the Buddha's qualities, help someone to overcome one's fear, terror, and all that. Okay, now there are people who will go to a certain supernatural understanding about the Buddha. Maybe Buddha is doing something like, wish-washy magic kind of stuff. But here it's not magic. It's there is a source, there is a reason why Buddha can help us. How many of our Buddhist devotees think that, when they go to some other places, there is the person available in that particular place? But when we go to the temple, is the Buddha living in the temple? Is he there? Is it a Buddha statue? Is it only a visualization of us, but Buddha statue? Now the Buddha says, although I pass away, although I live or pass away, regardless of I live or I pass away, there's something that's going to work out for our problems. Even he passed away. Why? What is the support? How can he support us even though he passed away? This is the reason. Tathagato, tankisahe. Why is that? Hetu means reason. Tathagato. Tathagato means, what is tata? I think we have discussed this Pali word. Tathagato. One of the very blessed words for the Buddha that we use, not the Buddha actually. Tathagato. Tata means, we normally call Tata means the Four Noble Truths. Tathagata, the person who understood the Four Noble Truths for the first time in one Buddha's time. Tathagata. People translate this to be different, yeah? Tathagata. Now, normally they translate Bhagava as the blessed one, the blessed one. But Tathagata, they don't translate. What is the translation that they use for Tathagata? They simply say Buddha. But Tathagata means, Tatha means Four Noble Truths. Someone who fully understood the Four Noble Truths for the first time in one Buddha's time. Now, only after he understood the Four Noble, realized the Four Noble Truths, he's going to start teaching other people. He's the first. Now, reason for all this is, especially how he can help others, even he passed away, is that Bhikkhave monks, Tathagata is Araham Sammasam. Araham means he's worthy and he's fully enlightened. But in particular, there is something within this Tathagata, I would say the Buddha's qualities. Why? Even by a visualization of his qualities, even by visualizing his statue, because when you visualize the Buddha through a statue, but you are visualizing about his qualities, there is something that is backing up that idea. It is Vita Ragu, Vita Doso, Vita Mo. What is Vita? How does this Vita come from? Now, we understand Vita means free. You see it here, free. But there's something interesting here. The Pali verb for Vita is Vinati. Vinati. Vinati means? Vinati means?
Uprooted, great hatred and
Uproot. Uproot. Uproot is a good word, a good verb, because uproot means uproot. I mean, there's nothing remaining after uproot. When you say you overcome, you might again go through the problem, right? You overcome anger today, but tomorrow it can come again. What if you say something like a very dire statement? Today around 7 o'clock, I uprooted my anger. Oh, goodness, it's a big claim to all of us. That means you won't have anger again. Huh? Tonight, tomorrow, it won't ever come back. But please say, by 7 p.m. today, tonight, I overcame anger. Maybe a constant uprising anger. I manage with it. It can come again. When the conditions arise, my anger, jealousy will come again. What are the conditions? As long as you don't see the person you don't like, you are okay. But once the person you don't like is to show up, then the anger that was somewhere else is going to arise. Why? Conditions arise. But in Buddhism, we understand conditions. The more we understand the conditions, the better we can manage that particular emotion, sanya. Now here, vinati means uproot. That is our ideal level of function in terms of negative emotion. We have to vinati. We have to uproot, right? Now, why do we call uproot? It is relevant to a tree. Now, you uproot the weeds. The moment you uproot a weed, then that weed won't recur, right? But the moment you cut it, it will come back again. Now, what we do is we cut it. We cut the anger. We cut this and that. Then, at least it's better than not cutting it, right? Cutting is better than not cutting it. But uprooting is better than cutting. I mean, looking at the level of the negative emotions. So, vinati. Vita means is the past participle, PP of vinati. Here we go again. Tankisa hetu tathagato hi bhikkhave arahan samma sambuddha vita ragu vita dosu. Now this vita means, say, past participle. It's a grammatical thing of vinati. Vinati means uproot. Now vita ragu, that means Buddha had uprooted raga, then dosa, then moha. So, what is the main reason why Buddha can help us? Because he uprooted raga, dosa, and moha. Now we have to discuss again what is raga, what is dosa, what is moha. That means whenever you want to think about someone who can help you in the event of a fear, you must think about someone who has less raga, less dosa, less moha. What if you think about the most raga person at that point, the most angry person at that point, the most disillusional, confused person at that point, whenever you are going through fear and all that? Would you be blessed? Would you be able to overcome, at least overcome? So it is said that why, when you are very scared in normal life so far, scared, terrified, why are you not going to think about someone other than the Buddha? Why automatically you are going to something like Namo Tassa, Utipiso, or any other chanting? Why you are automatically going there? Why can't you think about something else? Why can't you think about a super monster in a movie at that point who can help us? Why? Why is it? Your trust is not there. You know that these people, these monsters, these villains, those adventurous people in the movies cannot help us. They cannot come and help. Right? And you think that something spiritual has to come at that point. It is because we thoroughly believe that Buddha uprooted raga. What is raga here? Raga?
Lust.
Lust is one meaning. But raga,
Greed.
raga is not greed. Lobha is greed.
Uh,
Pali word lobha is greed. But raga, as you understand,
Raga
Attachment. Attachment.
Sensual desire.
Bhante, attachment.
attachment, the English word attachment is embedded in the karma. That's why we see karma and kama raga. We see this differently, karma and kama raga. Now, raga, another meaning for raga is colorization, dyeing process. What is that? Now, you do it for the katina robe. You offer a katina. Actually, you cannot offer a katina robe. You offer katina cloth. And then the monks or whoever, they have to dye it. Nowadays, you buy the whole robe and offer it. But normally, according to the Buddhist tradition, you are simply offering a cloth that is suitable for a robe, making a robe. So you are offering it in the morning, and during the between the lunchtime and morning time, they have to do the dyeing and then stitch it and all that. And then it will be then given to monks, give to another monk. That's why katina robe is a offering that is given 2 times. So there are double generosity happening within that. Devotees offer to the Sangha. Sangha has to offer to one monk. So the process called dyeing, that means colorization. Raga is that. So now you take this idea, colorizing. Are we trying to colorize our ideas time to time? Yes. Do we like colors? Who doesn't like the rainbow? How many of you would like to see the rainbow? Colors. See, there we go. Colors. People like to see colors. And what about other color combinations? Spectrum. People like colors. Some people get offended by the colors. Some people like colors. So that means the idea that we are bringing certain colors to our sanya is initially raga. That means the moment that you are trying to see the world not as it is, but in the way you want to bring colors to that particular world. I want it like this. I don't like black color, I like blue color. So there are people who are very much stuck into the colors, aren't they? When they go buying clothing, when they go buy certain things, they are very much into, yes, we all like colors, but what if that somebody is too much into this colorization? So that might be a problem. Another meaning of raga is stain, S-T-A-I-N, stain. Raga. Now you see, when you rub a certain white cloth, you see the stain is coming out. Raga. So initially, raga means that we all are born with a pure mind. Were we? Were we born with a pure mind? That means the moment we were born, if we could meditate, we would have been arahants at that time. But now we have passed that time. The Buddha says, Pabassara midang bhikkhave citta. Our mind is, what do you call? Our mind is bright at the moment we were born. No kilesas. So people like to be with small babies, right? They have no akusalas, right? They would like to play with them. They would like to see them, right? They feel happy, right? But nowadays we don't know. I mean, they are also kind of embedded in the digital world in a way. But anyways, when we were born, our mind is very lustrous. I would say bright. The Buddha said, Tanchako agantukehi upakkilissehi upakkilitta. But as time goes on, when the external asavas affect that bright mind will be affected. So this means bright mind, pure mind is affected. Raga's purpose is to affect the bright mind. So when we say raga, it's not even the lust. Now, lust particularly means in English, what do you call this sensual desire for the heterosexual things. But raga means everything, not even the lust, but also everything. So it's very hard to find out somebody who has less raga. Forget about someone who has uprooted raga. Very hard to find out someone who has less raga. So actually we have to have less raga. So our life will be very comfortable. Today you may have a sumptuous meal. Tomorrow you may have a very normal meal. Can we be happy? We should be able to be happy. Right? And tomorrow you are doing a very executive job, but tomorrow you will lose the job, and you happen to work in another very small scale job. So be able to be happy for it. Because we have this resilience to bounce back. So then, but the person who has lot of raga cannot get back to normal. They are struggling a lot. They are picking on others. They are trying to put blame on others. They are complaining a lot. They are whining a lot. They want to probably do some other bad things too. That's why, having less raga is always a benefit. Right? Having less raga, I cannot say that you will have to get rid of all the ragas, people, but having less raga is always a benefit for your life. Not even to attain nibbana, but also to have healthy relationship with your people, family people, friends, work people. So Buddha had uprooted raga. This is why Buddha can help us even he passed away. Don't think that even though he passed, how come he's going to help us? He's not anymore. He can help us because we are visualizing his character where he had no raga from that point on. Then dosa. Dosa means conflict. You can call hatred, anger, but the major point of dosa is conflict. What is conflict here? Let's take a very minimal example of dosa. Let's say someone we really love, we really care, is going to pass away. Okay? What is the immediate state of mind that is coming to us? Let's say the person is going to die now. Maybe going to die and then already died. Now the situation, mourning period. So what's happening in us? What is the state of mind? Sorrow or grief? G-R-I-E, grief. Right? What is grief? Where is it coming from in our mental states? Because all the mental states, akusala mental states, have to relate to lobha dosa moha or raga dosa moha. If so, then where is grief dosa coming from? Or dosa, soka, S-O-K, coming from? Soka coming from dosa. That's why I translated dosa to be conflict, but it's not a common translation. It's a very deep translation, because whenever we are in conflict with what's happening, the emotion that is arising is dosa. Let's say I don't like something. Dosa. I dislike. I'm not accepting what's happening. Say, for instance, somebody passed away. Somebody passed away. And those people who are crying a lot, who are suffering a lot in that state of mind, maybe they are emotional, it's okay. We don't have to think bad about them. But the bottom line is that they don't accept what really happened from that conflict-free understanding. They might say, no, I accept, but still I cry. Yes, in a way, it's emotional healing. But on the other hand, they have not fully accepted that particular thing. So, grief comes from dosa. What are the other mental states that are related to the dosa? Grief is one. Then maybe you can add some of the other mental states.
Lamentation, Bhante.
Lamentation means parideva. What is parideva? Trying to hit the heart, hit the chest, hit the chest. What happened to me? Why it happened? Hitting one's own chest and the body, and then like it's going a little higher than so. Parideva. Then soka parideva. Then upayasa, despair. Upayasa means despair. My whole plan, fell apart. I'm in despair now. I'm very disappointed. I don't like to accept what happened. If you don't like to accept, that means you are having those. Others, what are the other mental states that are relevant to related to dosa, raga, and the second dosa? Soka parideva, payasa.
Domanas supayasa. Domanas supayasa.
It's a definition between physical suffering and mental suffering. Dukkha is physical suffering, domanassa is mental suffering. So overall. Now, what are the other very simple ones that we are struggling in our daily life? We understand anger definitely arises from those, no doubt about it. What about jealousy? Issa, I-double-S, long A, Issa, jealousy. Where does jealousy come from? Is it coming from lobha, or raga, or dosa, or moha? Jealousy comes from
Bhante from dosa.
dosa.
From dosa.
How does it come from dosa?
Because when we are jealous, we have having anger also. When we jealous of other people's wealth or anything, we have the anger also. Why I'm not like them? We'll try to compare.
Okay, so when we compare with other people, yes, when we don't have what they have, we may feel angry. Okay,
Envious. We feel envious and ill will. There's ill will.
okay. Who is the luckiest being here who has zero jealousy about other people? Probably. Can we have zero jealousy? We have to develop our mind to a very high extent to accept. Actually, what is the Dhamma interpretation here? Yes, in the experience, you may feel, okay, you are angry. Why I don't have? Why you are healthy? Why I'm unhealthy? Why you have lots of money? Why I have less money? Why you have a good family life? Why you have a good wife, husband, children? Why I don't have? Why you have a good house? Why I don't have? Yes, initially this is coming from certain anger, but what is the Dhamma interpretation here? Dhamma interpretation is someone is having jealousy, issa, because she does not accept what other people have. Not accepting what other people have is what leads that person into what you call dosa. Not accepting. So he or she is in conflict with what other people have and what he or she doesn't have. So dosa, it's a very interesting emotion to understand. Actually, this is the true Dhamma. We might talk about Dhamma, different suttas the whole night, day and night. But these are the very simple Dhamma teachings. If we don't incorporate into our life, we will be struggling every day, especially dosa part. That means we should be able to accept what other people have and then create our own blessings. Accept, you create your own blessings. And I found somebody who is always complaining about what he or she doesn't have. I said, look at you. How many things you've got in your life? You compare other people with what you have, not what you don't have. Now, so far you've been doing what you don't have, what other people have. Do the other way around. Oh, yeah, a lot of things. See, you are unique. You are unique. Think that way, but never put other people down. Just be happy with what you have. But if you don't have something, if you really want it, if you can make it happen, just try to work on that. You think you can make it. So we are on a daily basis going through these challenging emotions. But when we understand how they are arising, there is the help itself. Now, this is one very interesting, very easy way to think about it. Always try to think how unique you are, how blessed you are, how many blessings you are having. So you can count on your blessings and good stuff. So you can minimize this conflict issue. As I said, dosa means we are in conflict. Are there any other mental states that are relevant to dosa? We talk about soka, grief. We talk about what do you call? Parideva, lamentation. And then upayasa, despair. And then
Covetousness, Bhante.
Huh?
Covetousness.
Covetousness comes from lobha part. It's attached to lobha. The first one, raga part. But this is anything that you are in conflict with. You are in conflict with. Okay. And then moha means confusion. Are we confused time to time? Are we? Now you are driving on a highway or somewhere. Somebody wants to turn to the right side, to the right side, maybe to a road. But out of any mistake, he is going to turn the signal to the left side. Are you confused? You are confused, huh? What is this guy doing? Can you take a certain understanding of people can make mistakes? I do understand, okay, this guy is going to turn to the right side, but he by mistake is going to turn to the left side now, by signals. But you understand. But more than these kind of simple mistakes, it could be major mistakes. There are people who are confused for the whole day. How to get out of this confusion, create more clarity about today, day, tomorrow, and clarity about yourself and others. That's why these people are bringing talking vipassana, insight, clarity. We need that clarity. Why? When the things are going to be clear, then decision making, critical thinking, working with other people, dealing with emotions, all these activities going to be very comfortable and do all the things very well. But there are situations in our life where circumstances have made us very confused. Just imagine you are with somebody who is always confused, who is trying to confuse you. Emotions, feelings, planning, right? Let's say somebody is agreeing to you yesterday, going to have a plan tomorrow, but in the last minute, he or she cancels it without even telling you. You're going for a deal, and then without any negotiation, things are going to fall apart. And you are talking to your children about something, but children are doing the opposite. And so confusion starts to arise. How to minimize confusion? So we have to understand most of the things in our life with yoniso manasikara, wise attention. We did discuss about this topic a long time ago. If we bring wise attention, yoniso manasikara, into our actions, thoughts, and then speeches, we can minimize lots of unnecessary issues that arise as a matter of confusion. And are we getting forgetful during our day? Are there moments, opportunities, moments where we forget stuff? Are we putting keys inside the house and locking the door? Are we putting keys inside the car and locking the door and finding where is the key? Are we putting things everywhere, phone, keys in our house? Why is this happening? It's not important. Now I have a GPS keychain tracker. You can find out my keys anywhere. But the problem is I locked my key inside. I have the GPS tracker. But you have to go inside the house. So just don't think about the Lobha Dosa Moha destruction, maybe overcoming of Lobha Dosa Moha. Think about the normal life, daily life. Are we forgetful about our things? Yes, we do. Why is it? That means we are not giving enough attention to our activities. That means we are taken over by lots of
Distractions,
distractions. Lots of distractions.
not mindful.
Are we supposed to be concentrated all the time? Is distraction sometimes helpful for us? You see the pros and cons. Normally, distractions are really not good. But are there times that distractions are good to us for us? Let's say there is someone who is having lots of pain, negativity, what do you call a toxic life, relationship, bad experiences, violent childhood, a lot of bad things. Someone is now probably going to overcome. Is distraction going to be helpful for that person to overcome that problem? What if our mind is naturally going to be stuck on the present moment? We are naturally concentrated. Would that be helpful? Or is the mind naturally having the state of its own nature? Now, the nature of mind is, now there are people, when we go and do some Dhamma talks, discussions, there are people asking, the mind is going here and there, my mind is a monkey mind. How to stop this monkey mind? I say, that is the nature of the mind. Be happy for that. Let's say that you've been struggling a lot in your life, then you need to distract yourself from that negative experience onto a good experience. It's a distraction. Now, we very much understand this issue when we are bringing a child into a vaccination point, a baby. They don't like to get vaccinated, right? Even they don't like the poke. What is the doctor doing in the vaccination of the baby?
Distract the baby.
Doctor is going to distract the baby.
Yeah.
And finally, he poked it. That means distraction is, in a way, helpful under certain circumstances. That's why when we have lots of toxic experience in our life, it's very important to get distracted from these negative experiences at times. But we are talking a very interesting, very higher purpose in terms of our mindfulness practice. Yes, we do need that nature of not being distracted in a certain context, but distraction has its own helpful nature at times. But on the other hand, most of the distractions are not good for us in our development of the thoughts. Okay, raga dosa moha. This is why now the Buddha uprooted raga, Buddha uprooted dosa, Buddha uprooted moha. So, regardless of him living with us or not, by visualizing his qualities, he can help us because we know that he uprooted raga dosa. We don't have to think that Buddha has to come to us and then to stretch out his arm and here I am, I'm going to help you. We don't need that kind of thing. Yes, in some religions, they have expect the person to come and do it. No, we don't have to because we understand that he already uprooted raga, dosa, moha. We have to keep going. And then, because of that is abhiru. Abhiru means fearless. Now, because he uprooted raga, dosa, moha, he is fearless. He has no fear. Achambhi. Achambhi means he cannot be terrorized. Right? Now, normally the people who are going to cause a lot of problems in certain countries, we call them as terrorists. Right? But you understand the word terrorism, they are already terrorized. They have the terror, not that they are only terrorizing the other people. They already terrorize. And they're going to terrorize other people too. Terrorists. Right? So, nobody can terrorize the Buddha because he uprooted the Lobadosa, Ragadosa. Not even that. Anutrasi is very bold. Not everybody can be bold, right? A lot of people are shy, right? Some people are shy because I think they have hiriyotta, moral shame and moral fear. But there are others who are very shy for nothing. They can't be bold. They can't dare. They cannot, what is the popular way of saying that? They can't speak up. They can't be vocal about the problem. They just want someone to represent their voice. I cannot talk, you talk for me. So they're going to be behind the scene. Only few of them can speak out. But not need to insult other people, just to speak up, just to be vocal. Right? So Buddha is someone who is a dare, who is a bold, because he has uprooted raga, dosa, moha. And then apalayiti. He does not flee. Palayiti means flee. So simply because Buddha uprooted raga, dosa, moha, he is fearless and he cannot be terrorized, he is bold, he is not going to flee. Now, we don't mind about what Buddha is doing. Buddha is definitely not doing any of these things. We are talking about the impact of this Buddha's nature on us. So, we will be the same. Yes, Gan, you have a question? Yes.
Sorry, Bhante.
Yeah.
I was wondering, like sometimes we say loba dosa moha, but not raga dosa moha. Why is that?
No, this is a different way to look at it. Loba dosa moha is the usual way. But when it comes to helping someone with regard to fear, terror, and all these things, Buddha used the raga. Raga means, now, in terms, in the loba, there are people who still have kama, sensual desire. They still maintain sensual desire. But in order for you to help out someone, you are even trying to cut down on the raga. Raga means even that sensual desire has to be minimized to help out someone. If you are the focal point of the help for other people. So raga is a further clarification, further internal clarification of the loba itself. It's an area of loba, within the loba actually. It's not beyond the loba. So when you say loba, raga is included. But when you take raga out, that means even a subtle sensual desire is impeded in that raga dosa. But loba is the higher, broader word which has raga included inside. Okay. All right. And then, okay, by practicing mudita, we able to reduce, yes, definitely. That is what we are supposed to do. Yes, we will discuss that later. Right, and then we are going to, I think because of the timing, I will read. We concluding this today, that's why. Idam avocha bhagava, idam vatva, sugato athaparang etan vocha sattva. Now what happened? The Buddha said the Sutta about Buddha's qualities, Dhamma's qualities, Sangha's qualities, and then what happened? Sugato ata aparam. Now the Buddha wanted to summarize the whole idea that he gave in a couple of stanzas. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 stanzas. Perhaps we can ask someone to read. Yes, number 15. Is anyone going to read? Number 15.
Bhante, I try.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Arane Rukka Mule Wa Sunagarewa Bhikkhavo Anusarita Sambundam Bayam Tumhaka no Siya.
Okay, great. Aranye Rukha Muliva Sunya Gareva Bhikkhavo Anusaret Sambuddham Bhayam Tumhaka Nosya. Now, the Buddha is telling about anyone, including a monk, how is the recollection of the Buddha's qualities going to help out anybody, including a monk. Whether you are in the forest, Aranye Rukka Muleva, let's say you are at the foot of a tree in the forest. Sunya Gareva, Sunya means, what does Sunya mean? Sunya means Sunya Agar. Sunya means
the root
empty.
of the tree.
No, Sunya means empty, empty place. Are we sometimes living in empty places? Empty means it could be both. It could be an empty place without other people. Okay? I think time to time, maybe every day, we should need some kind of private time for us. Recollection of what's happening. Am I a good person? Am I doing some harm to other people? Am I improving my good qualities? I time, me time, not to create ego, right? Not creating ego. It's not the ego time. Huh? Some people take I me time for ego. But we are taking this I me time to reflect upon whether am I spending my life in the proper way? Am I really improving with my speech, with my actions, with my thoughts? Can be a better person. So sunya means empty. Gara means place. It could be a place where you are without other people. When you are too much socializing, you can't be in a sunyagara. Because you cannot find sunyagara because you have lots of people all the time around you. Sometimes, maybe oftentimes, when you are with the wrong people, you are also doing the same thing what they are doing. When you ask the people, when did you start smoking? No, I didn't go and buy a cigarette. I was affected because I was with other people who smoke. So the first cigarette was because I was with friends who were smoking, so they gave me share. That means this herd mentality. This group work can be good, can be bad. That's why we have to be with the Kalyana Mitras. Otherwise, we will be affected. Sometimes you are a very good person. You are not gossiping, but you are with a group of gossipers. You are a good person, but you are with a group of gossipers. Then you are going there, say, you know what, I'm not gossiping, but you have to gossip at that time. Right? You have to gossip because you are with the wrong people. That's why selecting, we have to be selective sometimes. Although we practice metta to all the people, when we are going to do things together, we have to have a selection. Otherwise, yes, we may have to high and buy, get along with everybody, but we should not harm our spiritual life. Otherwise, we may listen to 1,000 talks, go to 1,000 classes, but nothing has been working out spiritually because your conditions have not yet come to the right point. Papa Mita, bad friends, not even gossiping, but also other things. You may be with a group of angry people. You have 4 best friends, and all are angry best friends. And then, although you know lots of Dhamma, but you still carry on anger because your 4 best friends are angry friends. Maybe jealous friends. So we have to be very careful about this thing. I'm not saying to quit these friendships. I'm asking you to, get along with the Kalyan more and more, and then keep that friendship in a proper way, so that you can grow better with your knowledge, with your Dhamma knowledge. Otherwise, you have lots of Dhamma, but there's no way to grow with that Dhamma knowledge because you are still with the bad people. That's why Buddha said, Ananda, don't say 50% of spiritual life depends on the Kalyana Mittas. 100% of spiritual life. The growth, fruitfulness, and the transformation of the spiritual life depends on, 100% depends on Kalyana Mitta friendship. We have to find out these people, right? Otherwise, we will get stuck. All right, so here, what we understand is empty place, sunyagara. We need to have empty place. Now, don't think empty place is a house that has no furniture, not an unfurnished house. Some people think that maybe this is an unfurnished house. I might move into a house where there are no furniture. It's not sunyagara. Sunyagara is a house, maybe a room where there are not people for you to associate a lot. Maybe your room, personal room, sunyagara. And then you may go onto a forest, living at the foot of a tree. You may go to a personal space. Sambuddhang anusaret. Try to recollect. Anusaret. Sarati means remember. Well, I think the better term is remember. Remember. Remember the Buddha. When you remember the Buddha, tumha kang, your bhayang, fear, no siya. No siya means
Disappear.
your fear will not arise. When you remember the Buddha, regardless of where you are living, might be at the foot of tree, or maybe a personal space, your fear will go. Actually, this is true. Very true. Let's say you go into a cemetery or anywhere, because people are always fear-stricken. You think about the Buddha, you think that Buddha is always with you. He can help you. Definitely, your fear instantly goes away. But what if that you are thinking, oh, the ghosts are around me. They can attack me anytime. Even there are no ghosts, but you think this particular cupboard can be a ghost, can attack me. Because you are visualizing every object to be ghost. It's like the Victorian morality. Yeah? You know, the Victorian morality, the great-grandmother of, they demonize all the tools. Say, you got to cover the legs of the piano. It's feminine. Cover the legs of the piano. But we don't want to think about that. We don't feel like legs of the piano is feminine. It's like a woman. But we understand it's just the legs of the piano. In that way, we don't have to demonize these objects. So if you give validation to our objects around you, you create unrealistic ghost spirits around you. They are not real guys. But if you think that, no, wherever I am, it may be a haunted place, but if I think about the Buddha, my fear really goes. That's refuge. That's really the support. But the problem is, if you are killing, if you are stealing, if you are sexual misbehaving, if you are lying, if you are intoxicant, I don't think the Buddha will come to you. Because you are not prepared for that. You don't have the prerequisites to get that help. That's why we need some sila. Sila is important to get the help of the Buddha. Because we are dedicating, we are sacrificing. Okay. All right. That's the first part. And then the second part. 16. Who would like to read the 16? Number 16. You can raise your virtual hand.
I'll try, Bhante.
Yes.
Noce Buddhang Sareyata Loka Jetang Nara Sabam Ata Damang Sareyata Niya Nikam Sudesitang.
Okay, great. Noche buddhang sariyatha loka jettang narasabhang atha dhammang sariyatha niyanikam sudesitang. Now we understand as the Buddha himself told at the beginning, somewhere in the middle, that if by remembering the Buddha cannot help someone to overcome fear and all these negative emotions, then you can think about the Dhamma. Now here Buddha adds two interpretations about the Buddha. Loka jettam narasabam. Jetta means vast. I think this word is very familiar to all of us because it's appearing in another place. You know, when the Prince Siddhartha was born, he walked 7 steps and then he uttered a stanza. Can you remember the stanza? Aggo hamasmi lokassa, jetto hamasmi lokassa, setto hamasmi lokassa, ayamanti manatti dane, punambhava, which means I am the greatest, I am the highest, and I am the most exalted one, and I have no other rebirth. So jetto means the greatest. The Buddha is the greatest in the interpretation here. Nara sabham, we call it asaba. Nara asaba. Asaba means you can say bull. Why? Is the Buddha is the highest bull? You know the bull, B-U-L-L. It's a type of a cow. What does it mean? What does this interpretation of bull mean here actually? In India at that time, there was an idea that if you are a very masculine person, like a very strong, masculine, not the macho style, but masculine person, then you might be somebody like a great bull. That means who has the capacity, the strength, who can do anything, who can push, who can overcome any issue. So in this example, bull is not taken to be as a real bull. Bull is a metaphor here. So we have to understand the strength of a bull, U-double-L. So he's the strongest person, the strongest human. Now in one place, I found out one of the epithets, names that people call the Buddha was, it's a Pali name for that. I will tell you the meaning of that. The person whose food is digested in the proper way. Somebody asked, who is in the temple? Said, I don't know his name, but I know whenever he eats food, the food is digested to the level of 0. That means when the Buddha eats food, his food is properly digested. What about us? Are our food going to be digested in the proper way all the time, or sometimes we have issues with our food? It's not the food. His body has a proper digestive system. Normal human, but he's blessed enough to have them digest. Now, in today's world, when some people eat some food, they have a lot of problems. Gastric issues, tummy issues. Why? Sometimes they are coming from the sansaric problem. Sometimes they have a wrong way of eating food. Maybe they have been used to eating food in the wrong way, improper way. So that means Buddha is the strongest in terms of all these aspects. Narasabha, strongest man. Anyways, if by remembering about the greatest person in the world and then the strongest person in the world, its universe, the Buddha, if by remembering him is not going to work, then you have to think about the Dhamma. Remember the Dhamma. Dhammam Saraya, 6 great qualities. Why is Dhamma special? Niyanikang. Learning Dhamma, or maybe the purpose of Dhamma, paves the way for us to attain Nibbana. Niyana means Nibbana. It's Nibbana bound. The purpose of Dhamma is Nibbana bound. If you properly understand Dhamma, it will take you to Nibbana. Even if you don't make it in this life, but you know this is the destination. This is the place that you have to think about in your Dhamma life. Niyanika. Sudesitan. Sudesitan means Dhamma is properly given. Properly given means we understand when we practice the Dhamma, there may be some conditions. Now, say for instance, there are certain teachings we have to understand with the modern life. But other than that, Dhamma-wise, there's nothing to add, nothing to cut, right? Because it has been well instructed by the Buddha. So then, in case by remembering the Buddha's 9 qualities, it's not going to work, then you have to think about Dhamma's 6 great qualities. Swakato, Sanditiko, Kaliko, Ehipasiko, Opanaiko, Pachattang, Veditampo. This is what we understand. Then we are going to verse number 17, stanza just before the last one. Is there anybody who would like to read this stanza, number 17? Yes, Kim, please go ahead.
No che damang sarayata, niya nikang sudasitang, ata sanggang sariyata, punya ketang anutarang.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Noche dhammang sareyatha niyanikang sudesina atha sanghang sareyatha punyakitang anuttara. Now, there are some other people who cannot even overcome their negative emotions. Fear, terror, stress, depression, or whatever negative emotion. At that point, now they have even tried remembering about the 9 great qualities of the Buddha, 6 great qualities about the Dhamma, but now they may need to work on remembering the 9 great qualities of the Sangha. No che. No means, what does no here mean? Che means if by thinking, remembering about the Dhamma's 6 great qualities, which is Niya, Anika, the same idea here, then at that point, that person should think about the Sangha's 9 great qualities. Sangha is Punya, Kettam, Anuttara. Punya means merits. Ketta means field. Field means, what does field mean? Ketta. It is a metaphor. The metaphor means it is not a real field. Now, when you are creating good karmas on behalf of the Sangha members, you are creating lots of good karmas. Sangha members have to be virtuous too. So it's a field of merit. And I added on to the list, there are 2 other field of merits, not even the Sangha members. Who are they?
Our parents, Bhante,
Mother,
our parents,
Father,
mother.
and the Sangha members. Now, there are people who don't understand this thing. They directly go to the Buddhist viharas and only give dana. They don't know that mother at home is a field of merit, father at home or wherever is a field of merit, and Sangha members in the vihara or wherever is a field. So we have to do the 3 things at the same time. You may have problems with them sometimes, but we have to do them simultaneously. Not only just rejecting my mother, my father, they directly go to the vihara and thinking about the field of merits. So there are 3 punyakettas according to Buddha: mother, father, and then Sangha members. So here we understand now someone who has not enough adequately benefited from Buddha Dhamma going to think about Sangha members. As I said earlier, this is a rare moment. That means when you really remember about the Buddha, definitely you must be blessed enough to overcome your problems. But if you are not adequately enough about this understanding, you may go to Dhamma and now finally Sangha. But even for the person who even was not blessed from the Dhamma, then Sangha, by reflecting, remembering about the 9 great qualities of the Sangha, must definitely help that person to, decrease, reduce fear and all these emotions. So that could be a really stable place for anybody. And finally, Anuttara means what do you call? Unexcelled. And number 18, last stanza. Who would like to read this stanza? Number 18.
I read Bhante.
Yes.
Evam Buddhang Saratanam Dhammang Sangang Cha Bhikkhavo Vayam Va Davitatam Va Loma Hamso Na Hasatiti.
Evang buddhang sarang dhammang sanghancha bhikkhavo bhayang va chambitatang va lomahansu nahesati. Now, Buddha clearly mentions in this way, or thus in this way, if someone is remembering about the Buddha in terms of his 9 great qualities, and Dhamma in terms of Dhamma's 6 great qualities, Sangha in terms of Sangha's 9 great qualities, thereby those people who are fear-stricken and all these negative emotions stricken, they can overcome their fears and all these negative emotions. So this is a very helpful way to overcome our negative emotions which we are struggling in our daily life, but only by not only by thinking the name of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, you have to understand what their qualities really mean. That is how you are going to get blessed, right? Because the moment you are thinking, why is the Buddha Arahant? Why is the Buddha Sammasam? Why is the Buddha Vichachara Sampan? You are going on to the specific understanding, right? When you spend more time to understand them, you don't have time to think about the spirit behind you, if the spirit exists, that goes around you. Unnecessary people you are thinking around you. Because why people are always bothered by these non-human beings? Sometimes they are not really with you. You are visualizing more than you are overthinking about it, because you are giving more time to think about these beings, right? But when you are giving more time to think about Buddha's great qualities, Dhamma's great qualities, Sangha's great qualities, you have this support system in terms of overcoming these emotions. All right, any questions today with this review? I think if you go back to the sutta again, it's the same thing. Buddha was using the story about the Sura Asura to discuss about it. But what is important to you in your daily life is trying to understand the contextual meaning about the Buddha's 9 great qualities, the contextual meaning about the Dhamma's 6 great qualities, contextual meaning about the Sangha's 9 great qualities. So the more you understand, the more you are able to de-escalate, reduce, decrease all these negative emotions. Don't be victimized by them. Try to be supported by the Buddha Dhamma Sangha in the proper way. We can say, may you be blessed by the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. How? How are you going to bless by them? Just by thinking about the Buddha Dhamma Sangha? Yes, you may have a certain help. But in order to get the full support, I must understand, why is the Buddha Arahant? Why is the Buddha Sammasam? Why is the Dhamma Swanka? Why is the Sangha Ahuneyu? Pahuneyu? That is how you are created. This oasis, sanctuary of the blessings. All right. Any questions? Yes.
Yeah, Bhante, can I ask something beyond this sutta? Or
Yes, please.
yeah, like someone told me that if let's say you dream of killing someone, that already create bad karma. So is that true, or what constitute creating karma?
No,
That's my
that is untrue. It's a false statement, because you don't have intention when you are dreaming. And dreams, you have to look at why dreams arise. In Buddhism, there are many reasons why dreams arise. One is a replay of the day events. That's number one. Actually, most of our dreams are not very supernatural things. They are coming because of the replay of the daily events. Now, say for instance, someone is going to go for a bucket list trip, going to a faraway destination, planning for long term. By the morning, this person is waking up. Oh, I am in the place of, no, you haven't still gone the trip. You're still here, you gotta go. But because of overthinking about the trip, it became a dream. Okay, that is one reason. Second is an inflammation about the phlegm, bile, and wind. We call them pitta, semha, vata. One of the other reasons of why we are dreaming is an inflammation of our phlegm, bile, and wind. How can our bile, phlegm, wind be inflamed? Because of how we eat, because of what we eat, because how we process, because of how our stomach digests these things. This is the second reason. Third reason could be supernatural beings are trying to tell something to us. This could happen, but it's very rare. It's a very, very rare phenomenon. And then fourth one is a very exceptional dream, which the Buddha had, the ascetic Siddhartha had. He saw he would become the Buddha in a dream. So what I understand is dreaming, like for the most part, a lot of dreams happen because of a replay of the daily events. Now, in your case, now you said somebody, if this is a reflection of what happened to him or her during the day, maybe he or she has been having killing thoughts about somebody, more or less, and at night, this is going to happen as a replay. Then, yes, then we have to understand it. The bad karma will be happening not because I'm dreaming, but because I've been fully occupied with this kind of a thought. When the killing thoughts arise before the sleep time, after we woke up, then that could create bad karma. Now, say for instance, on the other hand, this person gets up in the morning. Now at night, he or she saw the dream. How is she or he going to deal with this dream? Is he going to accept the dream? Yes, I do really have a problem with that. Is he or she going to let go of this dream? That's a secondary level of how he or she is going to create good karma or bad karma. But if you ask me, is someone going to create bad karma as a matter of dreaming about something? Because at the point of dreaming, we have no intention, no chetana. That person cannot create any karma at that point.
Yeah, but I heard that there must be like for the karma to be created, there must be a body that has been killed. Like there are five conditions to.
No. That's a commentary, Pali commentary.
Okay.
Abhidhamma and Pali commentaries are defending the Pali teachings, the early Buddhism. But you don't need these 5 requirements to kill someone. It's a very instant thing. Even to have a thought of killing, you don't need 5. Now, according to that, somebody must be killed physically, right? In that Pali commentary, it says, in order for you to breach the first precept, someone must be physically killed. But the Buddha says, you are creating bad karma because of the intention. So how many of us are killing other people in thoughts? And Buddha is Arahant because he's not killing anybody, even in secret. So that means as time passes by, some of the Abhidhamma teachings and Pali commentary, they were trying to highly defend about the Pali early suttas, but they didn't know where they ended up. It's like that fire, saying that mind is living in the blood, close to the heart, in the Abhidhamma. Early teachings, Buddha says, no, there's no place for the mind in the body. Mind is everywhere, omnipotent, omnipresent. You cannot say your mind is in the brain. You cannot say your mind is lying in the legs. It's everywhere. But Abhidhamma says no, mind is located in one place. We found it. Are we surprised? Are we very happy that the Abhidhamma teachings found the mind somewhere in the body? Tell me where they found the body, where the mind. They said our mind is exactly precisely located. We can find it in the blood that is going to the heart through the arteries and the veins. So if you look at an open heart surgery, bypass surgery, take the heart out, but still the heart is circulating with some blood. They say this is the place where the mind is located. But Buddha never said that. They call it in Pali, Hadaya Vattu. They said mind is inside the Hadaya. Buddha says no. Because later on there are teachings where certain, monks mostly and others, they wanted to precisely locate, specify certain teaching. That's why this came in. So what I'm saying is that oftentimes there doesn't need a physical killing to breach the first precept. We still create the bad karma by killing people in our thoughts. So we have to be very careful, because ill will is what? Ill will means killing other people in our thoughts. Now, sexual misconduct, people think, there should be a man, there should be a woman, it has to happen. Yes, it is in the worst case scenario. But how many people doing the same thing in the mind? Sexual misconduct, because Buddhism is talking about intention. You have to protect your thoughts. Other people don't notice you, right? So I think it's definitely it's coming from Pali commentaries. It doesn't necessarily have to have a physical entity to have that happen. Then our thoughts don't play anything. Huh? Don't worry, just think all the bad thoughts, because we are not physically killing anybody. Is that a good idea? Then the problem, that's why I'm saying we have to be very careful when we deal with the commentaries, and we have to pick up certain good things, but not everything. We have to assess every teaching over there. All right, let's take another maybe one question before we wrap this up.
Bhante, I got one question. In certain paritas, they mention by the power of the Buddha, the power of the Dharma, and the power of Sangha. This power here meaning the virtues. Can it be considered like the virtues of that we are being taught all this while? Or is there another different type of power?
Do you know the Pali word for that?
I think it's in the Abhaya, one of the protection sutras is sort of like Buddha Hanu Bhahavena Vinasa Menintu or something like that. Yeah.
Jaya Parit.
Yeah.
Buddha Anubha. Siriditi Matatejo, Jaya Siddhi Mahiti Mahagunang, Aparimita Buddha. Yeah. This is not a sutta given by the Buddha. This was made by the monks. So most of the suttas that come at the end of the chanting book, they are not original Buddha sutta. There is a sutta called Vasaparita. You know the meaning of Vasaparita? When you chant this Vasaparita, you will get the rain. If you don't have a rain, just chant it as many times as you can. Then you get the rain. Vasaparita. Jinapanjara. This is also a sutta where we see some Mahayana elements too. This sutta says, when you chant about this particular sutta, Hadaye Anuruddhocha Sariputtocha Dakkine Kondanyo Pitti Bhagasmi Moggallanovi. Arahan Sariputta, you have to imagine, he is in your heart. Hade Sariputta. Hadaye Sariputtocha, yeah. And then Kondanyo Pitti Bhagasmi, Arahan Kondanya is in your back. Would you like to bring all these arahants into your body? Back is one arahant, on the Moggallano Sivamake, left side is Arahan Moggallana. Hade Anuruddhocha. Bhante Anuruddha is in your heart. You don't do that. You know, the sutta says, Jina Panjara, you are creating a shield of protection. These monks created them. That means you are creating a shield of protection from the Buddha on the side, arahants across the body, and bodhisattvas around. If you know the meaning, I mean, you might probably study more and more. Anyways, there are a lot of suttas. I'm not saying they are not powerful. depends on how much you are trusting these suttas. Well, I mean, somebody is blessed, but we have to understand whether these were given by the Buddha or not. That is the first thing to do. Second thing is that if there is no harm, just carry on, continue your chanting. But because you asked me now, what is this anubhava, the effect of the Buddha? How is it going to work out? Actually, it is going to work out depending on how much more you know the Buddha's great qualities. Other than that, just by uttering his name would have an effect on you because you feel happy, but you are not getting the true full protection from the Buddha's qualities because we understand Buddha is not anymore with us. Then by just thinking Buddha is coming to us in a person might not be a good idea. But thinking that this Buddha who had 9 great qualities, he at the same time uprooted raga, dosa, moha, it can create a very big effect on us as a powerful thing. Dhamma also same, Sangha also same. Other than that, we take it as, what do you call, not in that anubhava. So any power that we are expecting from the Buddha has to come from a personal ability to reflect upon his qualities. So that has some work. So we have to do our own work to understand who he is. Okay. Bhante, you mentioned when baby Buddha came out at the Jeta Grove, not at the Jeta Grove, somewhere else, you could say Lumbini, at Jeta Grove, I am the greatest, I am the greatest, Narasabham. No, he didn't say Narasabham, he said, I am the greatest. Aggo hamasmi lokas, jettu hamasmi lokas, setto hamasmi lokas. I am antimanatida punampavu. Yeah, that's a different verse actually. Narasabha means one of the epithets for the Buddha, strongest human. All right.
Sorry, Bhante, my question is, isn't that like when he claimed that he's the greatest, isn't that like ego or conceit somewhat? Would you
It's
interpret
not
it that way?
No. That is in our way. Because we cannot claim like that. He's saying that not with a conceit. He's actually making the statement for the Deva Brahma, actually, that statement, not to the humans. So we don't take it as a conceit point of view, because for us, yes, it is a conceit, because we cannot say that. If we're going to make that statement, definitely we are part of our Sakkaya Ditthi. He understood on which ground is he able to talk about it. Because even being able to talk just by being reborn is going to be a surprising, marvelous thing, right? Have you ever found out any baby who just talked right after the delivery? So then we have to think about it. What is this person talking? Not even normal things. He's talking something very interesting. And there's another Jataka story, Ummagga Jataka, right? Ummagga Jataka story, where we understand the Panya Paramita, perfection and wisdom, where the Bodhisattva is reborn as Mahaushadha. His name is Mahaushadha. And the mother, he is delivered by the, given birth by the mother. The baby is hiding something with his hand. The mother is asking, what are you hiding? This is a panacea, a medication that I can cure any sickness of anybody. That means Bodhisattva even taught, even in a previous life. So we have to question, what is it that someone is to talk at the time of the just by being reborn? And then we talk about whether this is a conceit or not. Right? Yeah. So we cannot take it as a conceit. Conceit is relevant to us. He's not trying to show off. He's trying to say that this particular interesting being was just reborn in his last life. All right. And
Bhante,
any
can
more
an infant
questions?
walk immediately after birth, after being delivered?
It is said so. And because of our liminal, tiny Dhamma understanding, we cannot explain how it happened. I'm not trying to. So there are things, okay, there are things we cannot explain just because of our tiny understanding about these events. Not even this thing. Let me tell you, walking for 7 steps and then talk like this. And then it is said that Bodhisattva's mother is giving birth by standing. You tell me, who can give birth by standing? Which lady can give birth by standing? It is said that legs are coming out first, not the head is coming out. Which medical test can approve these things? Medically, they might say, no, there are no such beings in this world. Legs must come out first. The head must come out first, not the legs. But the Bodhisattvas, legs come first, head is coming out.
Then the lotus bloom at each step.
It's also a part of it, but we don't know how it happened. Maybe our tiny understanding is not enough to explore these things. That is what I can say. There is a sutta about it, which is called Acharya Abhuta Dhamma Sutta. Acharya Abhuta Dhamma Sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya, where Buddha talks about these things. All right, I think almost we are having the time. So for the next sutta, we will be letting you know what sutta we'll be picking up for the next Friday and onwards. And at this point, we are going to transfer all the good karmas we'll be making today. May all the good karmas we'll be making today by doing the review of the Dhajagga Sutta. Dhajagga Sutta clearly explains to us that remembering Buddha's qualities, Dhamma's qualities, Sangha's qualities definitely help us in decreasing, reducing our negative emotions, especially fear, stress, depression, all these things. And we learn them. Now the time to practice. Whether this is gonna work, definitely it can work, it's gonna work. May all these good karmas we've been creating throughout many weeks about this sutta be transferred to all the departed ones who passed away in the name of all of us. May they be well and happy, and may they finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idam me jati nangutu sakita huntu Idam me jati sukita huntu jati Idam me jati sukita huntu jati. May Deva Naga Mahindika so share all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of us for good health, quality of life, and prosperity. May Deva Naga Mahindika finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ettavata cha amihi sambata punya sampradang sabbe deva anumodantu sabbasang patti siddhya. Ettavata cha amihi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabbasang patti siddhya. Ettavata cha amihi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabbasang patti siddhya. Akasattha Chibummatta Devanaga Mahindika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakhantu Lokasasanam. Akasattha Chibummatta Devanaga Mahindika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakhantu Desanam. Akasattha Chibummatta Devanaga Mahindika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakhang Tuman Paramti, Chirang Rakhang Tuman Sadati. At the end of our all good karmas, we are making a wish, a continuous wish. May we be able to be in the company of Kalyana Mitras, as we understand. Kalyana Mitras, having the Kalyana Mitras will be the transformation with all the Dhamma teachings we've been learning. Next wish, may we be able to be in the company of Kalyana Mitras till we attain Imina punya kamena mami bala samagamu satang samagamu yavanibbana patya. Finally, may all the good karmas we're making throughout our Sutta discussions about the Dhajagga Sutta be supportive and helpful for all of us to maintain supreme bliss in life. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana siddhis nichang vandha prachayino Chataru dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanu sukhang balam ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti me vacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati samicchatu sadhu sadhu. That will be the end of our discussion today. And wishing you a good night, everyone. See you.
Thank you.
Bhante.
Thank you,
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Bhante.
Bhante.
Good night, Bante.
Sadhu, sadhu.